from physics that no two powers can occupy the same space at the same time. So we were trying to build alternative planes, alternative communities, alternative universes, alternative sources of freedom without coming to task with the people who were depriving of us of our freedom in the first place. But we didn't know until we learned that sooner or later they'll come get you wherever you are. Even at Shabazz restaurant, they'll come get you. Even in the donut shop, or even in the barber shop, they'll come get you. Because they control this territory, and until you confront that control with that knowledge that we had as nationalists, then you weren't going to be able to move on. And Malcolm brought us to that point. That was the real issue between Malcolm and the Nation of Islam. Malcolm had moved from just a nationalist to a revolutionary nationalist. That's what he had done. Malcolm had said that he saw the people struggling in the street in the civil rights movement, and he wanted to be part of that movement. He wanted to take the nationalist movement and infuse it into the civil rights movement and elevate it to a human rights movement. This is what Malcolm said. And when Malcolm did that, he scared the whole United States of America. He scared everybody. And so there came SNCC. They changed overnight. You remember that. SNCC threw all the white votes and started talking about self-defense and started talking about black self-determination, walked through Mississippi, and when they were in Mississippi, the folks out in the Delta area and the other parts of black Mississippi came up to them and they started explaining to them how blacks had to take control and how we had to do this, and black folks said, well, what are you talking about? Black power, right? So they named it. You know, people are always given to making things simple, which we try to make complicated, right? So they talked about black power, and then we had that black power movement, and we had the Panthers, and we had the whole wave of things right here in this city. You had the Shrine of Black Madonna here in this city. You had the League of Revolutionary Black Workers in this city. You had the provisional government of the Republic of New Africa right here in this city. The Nation of Islam had already started right here in this city. What we were doing here is we was exercising, we were participating in a movement which was unprecedented. Because what we had done is we had come from the South. We had been run out of the South by the poverty and the oppression and the Klan, and we'd come to the North looking for a job. But on that job, we realized that we were still being oppressed. So it was the labor movement, which was often a racist movement, but it still put us in a situation where we could organize ourselves. And so we begin to organize ourselves, not just from what the unions would say, but we begin to organize ourselves from what Elijah Muhammad had said, right? So we put together what the unions were talking about and what the nationalists said, and we created one of the most phenomenal movements in the world, as yet known. That's right. Right here in the city of Detroit, Michigan. That's what we created. That's what we created. We took over Recorder's Court. That's right. Yeah, that's right. We took over Recorder's Court. I'm telling you, they tried to get rid of George Crockett after the New Bethel incident. They said they were going to impeach him and throw him out of office, and he came out fighting. The people formed the Black United Front, kept him in office, and then turned around and let 25 of the 30 judges were black. 20.
A lot of people don't know what the New Bethel incident is.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll get it straight. Okay? We'll get it straight. Having a little conversation here. Having a little conversation. But the New Bethel incident was an incident where the provisional government of the Republic of New Africa had met. They were in their first anniversary. And they had brought together Queen Mother Moore and people from all over the country. And they were talking about reparations. They were talking about how to free the land, right? And then what happened is the Detroit Police Department didn't like what they were talking about.
That's right.
And more importantly, they didn't like black men looking like they were there to defend themselves.
Right.
So we had legionnaires who were outside that was not only saying that they believed in self-defense, but they had some instruments of self-defense, which made it clear that if they were attacked, they were going to defend themselves. And it was legal. Because Detroit at that time had not passed the law which says that you couldn't carry a loaded gun in Detroit. You just couldn't carry a concealed gun in Detroit at the time. See, we in the Republic of New Africa made a lot of law in Michigan, right? We were responsible for a lot of law, a lot of changes in law. But they said that, and you remember what the Panthers had done not long before that.
Right.
They had showed up at the Capitol in Sacramento with guns.
Right.
They were manifesting what they were saying. Now, you know, everything that we do is not perfect.
That's right.
As I look back at many of the things we do, perhaps they could have been better done. But you know, you are young at a certain point. And you don't trump your movement and your development just because you don't do everything perfect, right? So when I got down south, and after the incident happened in the south, jumping ahead a little bit, and folks in the south taught me, said, brother, we've always believed in self-defense. That's what they said.
That's right.
That's why you don't ever hear of any black folks getting lynched in all black areas, right? That's why you don't see any black folks getting lynched when the Deacons from Defense was around. And this is what we learned, and so sometimes it could have been done, but in our youth, in our rage against the kind of repression that we were suffering on the street every day, right here in Detroit, Michigan, we were suffering this repression.
Stress.
We were dealing with stress when they were killing our kids. We were dealing with being harassed. It even went back to '67 when they were harassing us at these after-hours joints. This is what they would do. So as we were dealing with this, we manifest our right to defend ourselves, which was a right that we had. And so what happened in the New Bethel incident is the police came. They came and they approached Milton Henry, or Guy Obadeli, who was the vice president of the Republic of New Africa. And they approached him in a way which was menacing. You know, I use one of their words, okay? You know how they say when they shoot you, they say you were menacing, right? But they approached Milton in a way that was menacing. So the brothers on the Black Legion felt that they needed to take care of this menacing activity, and they took care of it. So one officer died and the other got wounded. Then the police lit up the New Bethel church with over the New Bethel church with over 800 rounds. Tried to kill everybody inside, but thanks to God and thanks to the good work of the Black Legion, they were unable to kill the people inside. Nobody inside died, although a couple of people were wounded. And that was sent shockwaves through the police, law enforcement community, and it sent feelings of inspiration and encouragement throughout our community. Because here was a situation, and we had already lost many people.
That's right.
We would soon lose Fred Hampton to the police in Chicago. We had lost many different people to police coming and shooting and killing.
Right.
So what the New Bethel incident stands for is black people standing up, fighting back, and making self-defense real. That's what it stands for.
That's right.
But because of this New Bethel incident, 100 and something black folks were herded off to jail. 99% of them didn't even know the shooting had occurred outside. You understand what I'm saying? They just took them to jail because they take Negroes to jail anytime that they get a reason to take Negroes to jail. Particularly these Negroes. So they took us to jail. They took them to jail. I wasn't working with the provisional government at the time. But they took the New Africans to jail, and then George Crockett said, you don't have any reason to have them here. So George Crockett freed everybody except for 3 people. And those 3 people, we gave bonds and they bonded out. One of them was my good friend and my mentor when I was a child named Shaka Fuller. One of them was Alfred 2X, and one of them was Raphael Vieira. And you know, they accuse us of being racist. This is interesting, right? We've never been racist. Not the movement. The movement's never been racist. And Raphael Vieira was a Puerto Rican. He was an ally for the Puerto Rican independence movement who was working with the Republic of New Africa. One of the signers of the Declaration of Independence was a sister from Asia. Sister, oh man, what's wrong? Well, the one who gave Malcolm mouth-to-mouth recitation when he was shot and killed, right? Can't remember her name right now, but it'll come back to me. Yuri Kuchian. But all these folks were taken to jail at that time, and then the New Bethel case began to change history in Detroit. Because, like I said, they tried to get rid of Brother Crockett. Brother Crockett began to run on a campaign slogan of, I need some help up here, and black folks got them plenty of help. In fact, they began to elect all kinds of blacks to the court. And not only did we elect blacks to the court, we elected 2 white people who said they were communists, right? Justin Radlitz and Brother Pinky, I can't think of his, Curl, Judge Curl. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Sister Up. And Jeff know what I'm talking about. So they elected and said they had this court. It was out of control. We took over the newspaper at Wayne State University. This is what we did.